If the lights go out tonight, don't move, because something moves when you can't see it. The power went out at exactly 2:13 a.m. Not earlier, not later, like it was waiting for everyone to fall asleep first. Outside, winter had swallowed the town. Snow pressed against the windows, thick and quiet, like the world had been wrapped in cotton. No cars, no wind, no dogs barking, just silence. I remember opening my eyes and thinking, why is it so quiet? Then I noticed the darkness, not normal darkness. This was thick, heavy, like the room had depth. Now, I reached for my phone on the nightstand. Dead. No battery icon, no vibration, nothing. That's when I heard it. Breathing. Not mine. Slow, careful, controlled. I froze. Don't panic. Don't move. The breathing wasn't close. It was somewhere near the doorway. I stared into the dark, my eyes begging to adjust faster. Hello? I whispered. The breathing stopped. That silence felt worse than any sound. I listened hard, my heart punching my ribs. Then, a soft step, wood creaking, inside my room. I pulled the blanket up to my chin like a child, hating myself for it, but too scared to stop. If someone breaks in, they rush, they grab, they run. This thing didn't rush. It waited. Minutes passed, or seconds. Time didn't work right in the dark. Then I felt it, a shift in the air. Something blocking the doorway, standing there, watching. My eyes finally adjusted enough to see a shape darker than the dark around it. Tall, still, no face, just presence. I squeezed my eyes shut. If I don't see it, maybe it isn't real. The floor creaked again, closer, right beside my bed now. Felt cold move across my face, like something leaned down. Breathing returned, right near my ear, slow, patient, enjoying this. I wanted to scream. My body refused. Then, very softly, don't open your eyes. I almost did. That's the scary part. The voice sounded kind, familiar, like someone who cared about me. My mother's voice, but my mother lived 3 states away. That's not her. That's not her. The voice sighed, disappointed. I felt fingers brush the blanket near my shoulder. Not grabbing, just touching, testing. Then footsteps moved away, toward the hallway. I heard cabinets open. Fridge door. The soft clink of glass. Like it lived here. Minutes later, the footsteps returned. Stopped at the foot of my bed. The blanket dipped. Something sat down. I felt the mattress sink under its weight. This is where people die in movies. The voice spoke again, closer than before. You always look during the blackout. My stomach dropped. How do you... My voice cracked. Silence. Then laughter. Soft. Dry. Wrong. You're doing better tonight. I finally opened my eyes. The room was still dark, but the shape had changed. It wasn't tall anymore. It was folded, knees bent the wrong way, head tilted too far to one side, and its face looked exactly like mine. Same eyes, same scar on the eyebrow, same terrified expression, but smiling. Apne kaam se kaam rakh. Don't look, don't think. It leaned closer. I watch when the power goes out. It said, when you're quiet, when you're real. I shook my head. You're not real. It smiled wider. Then why do I know what you're thinking? The lights snapped back on. Everything vanished. The room was empty. No footprints, no open doors, no signs of anything. Just me, sweating, shaking. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, the news said the blackout hit the entire town. 1 hour, no cause found. People laughed about it at work, except one coworker. She looked exhausted. Did you hear something last night? She asked. I hesitated. Why? She swallowed. Because my son says someone sat on his bed and told him not to open his eyes. That night, I kept every light on. Nothing happened. The next night, too. Weeks passed, winter deepened. Then one evening, during a storm, my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown contact. You can't keep me. Sweating, shaking. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, the news said the blackout hit the entire town. 1 hour, no cause found. People laughed about it at work, except one coworker. She looked exhausted. Did you hear something last night? She asked. I hesitated. Why? She swallowed. Because my son says someone sat on his bed and told him not to open his eyes. That night, I kept every light on. Nothing happened. The next night, too. Weeks passed, winter deepened. Then one evening, during a storm, my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown contact. You can't keep